Hello, everyone. First of all, I'd like to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for putting your energy and your heart and your soul into the comments when I announced a free reading for a lucky person from my channel, Stories and Readings for You. Now, I felt drawn to do a video reading today for somebody who I felt very drawn to by spirit. And I felt that a video reading might be a little bit more effective when I'm trying to get this message across. Now, Suzanne Miro is the person that I wanted to give this reading to, but just to let you know, I did feel things around other people, so I may be doing other readings, from the latest post. So if you've not added your comment yet, you may want to, because I will be picking somebody else probably within the next 4 or 5 days. Now, Suzanne Miron wrote in and she said, a reading from you would be absolutely wonderful right now and much needed. I'm at a crossroads in my life and need direction, and I've been struggling for some time now and feel exhausted in every meaning of the word. I am the go to for many people when they need guidance, support, and direction. They confide in me, they trust that I'll keep them safe and private, and I'm afraid to let my guard down and show my weakness to those around me. Your guidance is much needed and appreciated. Suzanne, thank you so much for sharing your heart with all of us. First of all, it's really hard to have, the confidence to really put things out there, but I'm going to tell you, Spirit had a message for you. Now, I felt the energy of three spirits, three very, very strong spirits, to be very honest. Right away, when I read that, I felt the energy of April or August for birthdays, anniversaries, passings, or numbers equaling 4 or 8. So the 4th of any month, or the 13th, the 22nd, or the 31st, if not April, or 8, 17, or 26 of any month, if not August. But the reason why I'm saying April or August is because I saw A's right away when it came to numbers or months. Now, they make me feel that they passed away fairly quickly, so they did not have time to say goodbye. So there's a little bit of regret around that. And I don't know if you felt that you regretted not being able to be there or get there in time or maybe spend as much time as you normally would. But I'm going to tell you, I felt that. The second spirit coming through makes me feel they had been sick on and off. But the thing is, when they finally got very sick, I think that disease or illness escalated very quickly and they passed away within a matter of 4, maybe 6 months. So they want you to know that they don't remember passing away and they're around you every single day. So they do talk about that. So I don't know if someone just fried some cabbage or made egg rolls or had egg rolls or spring rolls, but I also see that food wise when I felt this energy and I connect to food. So I don't know if you've just had that recently or spoke about it or whatever, but I need to tell you that. Now, when you say that you've been struggling for some time now, I believe that you give a little bit too much of yourself, and spirit makes me feel a couple of things. And please don't get upset with me because I have to really speak my truth here when it comes to spirit. I felt that you're a people pleaser and that you want to help so many people. But sometimes we do this because we don't want people to dislike us. And I don't think it's because you want to be liked. I just think that you don't want to be the bad guy and you want to do good and you want to be remembered like that. But spirit makes me feel that you have to draw the line and that you have to set yourself some boundaries because I'm going to tell you, sweetie, people are taking advantage of your kindness. And the thing is, it's okay to let people do that once in a while, but honestly, I think it's a little bit too much. And the thing is, when they go to you, you have to learn to say no. So I'm going to tell you a little story so that you can relate. So many, many years ago, my mother and my stepfather were both in the hospital at the same time, and I had had a major surgery, but I was the go-to for the family, running back and forth between my stepdad and my mother from one hospital to the next. And the thing is, I was exhausted. So I had my telephone on my nightstand at night in case the hospital would call at 1 or 2 in the morning, because I had promised that I was going to be there. Of course, I was, like I said, the go to. But what happened instead is I had a neighbor who lived across the street from me who basically had called me. It was quarter to 12 at night, asking me if I can go over there to set their alarm clock. And so, of course, I said yes because I didn't want to be the bad guy. I didn't want her thinking, that I was a bad person. So I start getting dressed, and my husband gets up and he goes, Jay, are you going to the hospital? Is everything okay? And I said, no, no, I'm not going to the hospital, hon. I said, I'm going across the street because our neighbor's unable to set her clock and she has to get up at 4 a.m. to take a flight to Toronto for work. And he goes, my God, Jay, you are exhausted. You have been running back and forth like a little chicken with your head cut off. So the thing is, you need to take it easy. And I said, no, 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 I need to do this for her. So he said to me, Jay, you're not doing that. You're going to phone her up and you're going to tell her that you're exhausted. And he goes, besides, she knows how exhausted you are and what you've been going through. And he says, it's almost midnight. So he says, you're going to call her up and you're going to say no. I said, well, I can't do that. She's going to be very upset. He goes, she needs to be more responsible and read the directions of her new alarm clock so she can set it just like you did when we bought ours. So I didn't want to do that, but I also have to respect my husband's wishes. So I did call her and I said to her, I'm sorry, sweetie. I can't make it. I'm totally exhausted. She said, yes, I know that, but I need to get to the airport for 5 a.m. So I need to get up at 4. And if I sleep through and I miss my flight, I'm going to have a lot of problems at work. So I said to her, well, listen, I will get up at 4 and I will call you. And I did. So the next day, my husband looked at me and he said, you look exhausted. You look like someone rattled you around a cage somehow. You look tired. I said, I am exhausted. I got up at 4 this morning to call her neighbor so that she wouldn't miss her flight. So he said to me, he says, Jay, why did you do that? I said, well, she's a nice lady and I didn't want her missing her flight. He goes, that's not your responsibility. And I said, I know, but I just didn't want her to miss her flight and get in trouble for work. So he said to me, he goes, look, I'm going to go to work, but I really want you to think about why it is that you felt obligated to help this woman, especially, in the time of your need. She should be helping you, or other people should be helping you, and nobody's helping you. So I said, okay, I'll give it some thought today. And I was recovering, like I said, from a major surgery. So when he got home, he sat down with me. We were having dinner and he says, so sweetie, he goes, did you think about that? He goes, because I think you need to think about that. So I said to him, yes, I thought about it. And he goes, so why did you feel so obligated to help this lady? I said, well, I didn't want her not liking me. I didn't want her to be disappointed in me. And he goes, really? What do you owe her? And I said, well, I don't owe her anything, but he goes, never mind the but, sweetie. He goes, you need to learn to start saying no. And I'm going to tell you, Sue, you need to start to say no. People are going to respect you a lot more when you're unable to do things. And I'm not saying to say no to everything. But I do feel that once in a while you have to say no, or you have to put your phone on do not disturb, or when you look at the ringer and you see that somebody's going to take up some of your energy, you're going to ignore that call and you're going to wait a day or two and call them back. Of course, unless it's an emergency. But you really need to start setting boundaries for yourself because I'm going to be honest, you only have yourself to blame according to spirit. And so, yes, you're the go to, but you can't fix the world. And the thing is, if something were to happen to you and you are going to burn yourself out, then who are people going to go to? So they have to learn to depend on themselves. And it starts with you. And it starts with you having to say no. And like I said, not to everything, because sometimes we do need to help people. They do need our energy. They do need our love. They do need our support. But I think that, and don't get mad at me, but I do think sometimes that you're the author of your own misfortune when it comes to that. It's just the way spirit makes me feel. Now, Spirit's been around you for the last 2 or 3 weeks. They do make me feel that there was a little bit of either a disagreement or somebody a little bit upset about something. I don't think there was an argument, but they make me feel like an upset feeling. And when I go out of the house, I feel upset. So I don't know if you had to leave your house and you were angry about something or upset about something or just like plain fed up and like sort of like just feeling like you wanted to scream and pull your hair out. But I feel like that. And when we get to that point, Sue, we have to learn to draw that line. And I'm not picking on you, honey. I'm not, because I have been there and I'm still sometimes like that. But the thing is, you do have to draw the line. And so your spirits want you to know that. Now, there are better things coming ahead, but I think you're doing too much. I think that there's two people that you're caring for or maybe taking over for or helping way too much. And I think that you need to depend on others to help out. Now, some people will say, well, there's nobody else to help because I was in that boat. But there are a lot of people. So let's say if somebody's sick, you call like the authorities and let them know that you're not able to handle these things, or maybe hire somebody to help you with what it is that you need to do. If someone's calling to take your energy, start monitoring your calls. Put people on ignore. Not that you're going to be mean, but you need to start taking care of you. So my husband always says, happy wife, happy life. Well, it's the same thing. If there's nothing left of you, then there's nothing to give. And the thing is, it's just going to make you miserable and resentful towards other people. And I don't think you're that type of person. I honestly don't. So I hope that you understand that. But Spirit does make me feel that things are going to get a little bit better. Now, I don't know if you also had some kind of digestive issue or problems with digesting foods or feeling a little bit off when eating foods lately. Just be careful. If it is not you, it's a female around you that needs to watch either around fatty liver, gallbladder issues, or a quick bowel of some kind. So I'm getting the sense of that. The other thing I felt was that there was some kind of appointment coming up that's really important, but I almost get the sense that it's going to be rescheduled somehow. And Spirit makes me feel that you need to pay attention to that because you won't be able to make it. So you may want to suggest that this appointment's done by telephone or by Zoom, that kind of thing, so that you can get things done or that you're not having to break yourself in 10 to get this meeting done. But they do make me feel that there's some kind of appointment to pay attention to. And if I didn't know any better, I would think it's a Wednesday or if not Wednesdays, there's something to do with 9 or 9:30. And if not 1 or 1:30. Okay. So just to pay attention to that. Now, August is going to be a little bit lighter for you, but you need to make that happen as well. So the thing is, these people are still going to depend on you. There's still people that are going to want your energy because the thing is, when we're sensitive and we're empathetic and we're caring and loving, people will gravitate towards that. So the thing is, just watch who you give your energy to, sweetie, because you'll need to conserve some of that energy for yourself. Because we don't need a crispy little Sue and a burnt out little Sue. All right. So I want to leave you with that. But again, your strongest spirits connected to April or August really make me feel that they come around you in your time of need. They hear you talking to them. Your prayers will be answered, but you have to have a little bit of patience around what you're asking for. All right. So I hope you didn't mind my little story, but I think that you can relate. I really do. And I want to thank you so much for trusting me with your heart. And I hope that you have an absolutely beautiful day. Please comments, Sue, to what I've told you. If you can relate to this, I'd really love some feedback. And to everybody else who have commented in the comment section of the announcement that I posted a few days ago, please keep commenting because I will be picking one or two other people to read for. I love you guys all so much. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that some of you will take this advice for yourself because Spirit has a very special way of coming through. And so you never know when that message might have been intended for you as well. Take care, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.